If you've been to Greece before, or if this is your first time, here is my travel guide to Athens. Now, this is a country that attracts a lot of tourists every year from all over the world. It's probably in the millions, and Brits love going to Greece because of the sunny beaches and the warm summer weather there. When you think of Greece, you think of the white buildings and the beautiful, crisp, clean seas. But when you think of Athens, you probably think of all the ancient Greek history. And well, I'm here probably to reinforce what you already know. Here is my Hammers tour guide to Athens, the Greek capital. Athens is one of the oldest cities in the world, and many civilizations have taken this place as a home. The Greek, Roman, Venetian, and Ottoman empires all occupied this city. Each culture has influenced the architecture. It's also the birthplace of the Summer Olympic Games. The event was first held in 1896 and as recent as 2004. If you really do want some extra advice on what Athens is like, then you might want to ask, I don't know, maybe your mum and dad have been there, maybe you know friends who've been there, or even go closer to home. You're a West Ham fan. Ask Dinos Mavropanos. He was born and raised in Greece after all. Or even ask Arthur Masuaku. He lived there for a few years. Athens, or Athenia, as it's known in its Greek name, is the southeast major city in Greece. It's the biggest city in Greece, as well as the economic, federal, and political capital of the country. Although it's often associated with Greek civilization, it is believed to have been occupied as early as 1400 BC, and the Romans took some control of the city during the 4th century. The Ottoman Empire seized control of Athens in 1458. The Ottomans decreased the city's political value and used it for military purposes instead. Churches were converted into mosques during this time. Greece overthrew the Ottoman Empire in 1821 and established the Greek kingdom. Athens was reinstated as the capital city. When the kingdom was demolished in 1924, a referendum was held many years later, and it was re-established again in 1935. It was officially abolished for good in 1967 following a military dictatorship coming into power. Modern-day Athens is now very modernized, but it still contains a lot of historic elements from its former occupiers over several millenniums. This one is quite bleeding obvious. The Acropolis. You've probably heard of this because it is the most famous landmark in Greece, arguably, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Acropolis is located 150 metres, that's 490 feet for those who want the alternative unit, above sea level. The citadel is home to the Parthenon, the former home of the ancient Greek treasury. The Ottomans used the building as a mosque, and the building was partially destroyed in a bombing raid during a siege in the late 19th century. Since 1975, a lot of restoration work has been undertaken to repair it and maintain its original heritage. If you want something that's a little bit more modern, the Zapion. It was built in the 1880s and it was used as a fencing hall during the 1896 Olympic Games, and today it's a conference hall. And finally, the Old Royal Palace. The Greek monarchy used to live here from 1843 until 1924. It's now the permanent headquarters of the Greek Parliament. Chryskakis Stadium has been the home of Olympiakos since 1896, and it was built for the Olympic Games that same year. Once again, I mentioned that. It's named after a war general who fought during the Greek War of Independence. Georgios Chryskakis is considered a national hero. The stadium was completely demolished and then rebuilt again from scratch in 2004, a project which took 14 months in order to accommodate for the Olympic Games. It's now a 32,000 all-seater stadium, and it's currently the largest football-only stadium in the whole world. Greece's success in Euro 2004 led to the stadium becoming the permanent home of the Greek national team. This switched to Crete in 2008. There are two ways to get here: by metro and by tram. By metro, the nearest station is the Neo Filiro station, located on the Green Line. That's line number 1. and a stadium is a 5-minute walk away. Alternatively, by tram, the stadium has its own tram stop, named Karaiskakis Stadium. It connects to the above-mentioned metro station. Yeah, sure. Greece is one of those countries where you like to take flicks for the gram because it's so appealing and it's so beautiful to look at. And that is very true. But there is a catch to this, and this is my first rule about what you need to know before you go. It might be illegal to photograph some ancient artifacts, buildings and monuments. There are some restrictions on taking photos of certain buildings. These include schools, monasteries, harbours and churches. Ask if you can take a photo before you do so, or if you have any doubt in your mind, just don't do it altogether. Second rule is hands off. Greece's heritage and culture laws don't allow visitors to touch or film archaeological sites unless it is signposted otherwise. There are strict laws in place to preserve the indigenous nature of these sites. Photographing and filming sites for commercial use, again, is a risky move. Walking away from designated trails and picking up rocks on the sites could be considered vandalism, and you can be charged under Greek law. And finally, what happens if you get in trouble in Greece? What if you want to talk to the police about something? Well, this is quite useful. The Greek police have a specific unit to help tourists. If you're in trouble and need to contact the tourism police for assistance, dial 1571. An interpreter will be linked to the call.